Shut up and sit down.
Okay then, so welcome to the Big Blue Tent podcast. It's episode 32 and it's Wednesday the 6th of December 2017 and you're listening to Matt Guppy and Aidan Burke of the Big Blue Tent. Hi Aidan.
Hi mate, how you doing?
Yeah, I am all good buddy. But before we get into it, let's say a quick thanks to all of the Big Blue Tent sponsors. We've got, of course, number 5 RC, that is Mike Parker up in the north.
Merry Christmas, Mike.
Merry Christmas, Mike. Or hamster's room cry, as we say at work. Sorry. CML Distribution, that is Russ, Keith, Wes, and all of the guys there helping me out, especially, and doing a cracking job. I know they are super busy in the warehouse at the moment, packing and getting orders out as quick as they can. So thank you all guys for all the work you do there. We've got RC Octane John Finch down in the southwest with his trackside spares and shop in Dunkerswell, and of course Nuclear RC, that's Alan Painter with all our technical help and for all your glues and acetones and bits and bobs like that. And you can find all of those guys on their respective Facebook pages or in the Big Blue Tent page or in the group. And as always, don't forget, if you are enjoying this out there, to like and share the podcast far and wide. It really does help us to get the word out. And of course, a big thanks to all of you listening in and tuning in every week. Blown away by the numbers that we're getting listening. It's been such an awesome response since we started this. You know, we literally cannot thank you guys out there for the support you give us and all the comments, likes and shares and bits and bobs you've done on the pages and in the groups and posts you've put up. Brilliant to see. Absolutely brilliant to see. The scene is alive and kicking, which is great.
Well done. It is. Please like and share the posts, and also remember to check out the guys who we have. Matt mentions our sponsors. They help us to do stuff, to go different places and things along those lines. So keep an eye out for them where you can.
Yeah, indeed.
Job done.
Indeed. They do help us to do stuff.
Yes.
Which is always good.
Thank you.
Because we like doing stuff.
Yes, we do like travelling about.
We do, yeah. We do like travelling about. But anyway, what have you been up to then, mate? What's been going on in the Aidan world of toy cars over the last week?
Right, well, racing. We were at round 2 of Southport Turf Wars indoors on our beautiful Astro. Yeah,
I saw the A final up on the page, and the force that is the red panda looked like he pretty much walked away from it, old Crompton there.
He did do really well. I think Kev qualified 2, Kev Lee qualified 2, and then broke his car on the warm-up.
Oh no! What the PR Honda?
The PR Honda, yeah. You know, if you're looking for a Honda, speak to Kev Lee inside line.
We all know from the Formula One just how good the Hondas are.
Do we?
We do. Yeah. Anybody that there you go. Watch this season's Formula One races, and you'll see. Maybe last season's as well.
No, I'm not going to do any of that.
Or just one of them. Just one of them.
So he actually broke it just before the final. I don't think he finished. So I don't know if he broke it again or he managed to pull it off. But it was, Crompton was on pace all day.
Yeah.
Really quick. Crompton, Joyner, Kev Lee, Evo, Holdsworth. Tricky was there? No, Tricky. Don't know. Can't remember. But So it was a good day. We actually got an opportunity to set a bit of the stuff up on the Saturday. We don't always get that chance.
You guys actually had some jumps in there. I couldn't believe it when I saw that A final. I was like, wow, look at that. Cars are leaving the floor at Southport with all four wheels off the floor. It's amazing.
It's exactly what everyone's always wanted.
It is.
Exactly what everyone's wanted. And what's most importantly, they worked really well.
They did, yeah. I saw it, yeah.
Lovely and easy for, on the 10.5s, not all of the 10.5s, and we can talk about that later, would do the double to the left, the left-hand corner. We'd have to single it, but there's many ways around there.
You could see some of the mud guys doing that as well, though.
Yeah, depending on how the line was. And so that was just two of our old jumps. That was Evo. Left-hand side was an Evo. And in fact, Evo wanted to make it twice as big.
Oh, I should let him.
But we didn't have enough wood.
Oh, well, that's always been a thing with Evo.
Evo, lack of wood.
Lack of good, solid wood.
Good wood. So, I thought everyone said, great track. Everyone, best track. Flowed well.
Jumps. People love jumps.
I think other people said that the track really flowed really well. Everything was great. I'd, spoke again with some of my...
Oh, no, you've gone. So we're not going to find out who Hayden spoke to. Oh, no. Don't know what's happening there, buddy, but you're breaking up and disappearing. Are you in a dodgier car park than you're normally in?
No, I'm in exactly the same car park I always am.
Oh, there he is. He's back. Okay.
Hi, mate.
Maybe it's the storm that is sweeping the UK at the moment. It's disturbing your signal a bit.
Possibly, mate, but the storm's not here.
God, it's blowing a gale here.
Really?
Yeah, it's absolutely howling. Mind you, I am right on the very, very top of a hill, so
yes,
I'm probably getting more wind than a lot of people are getting.
I am 200 miles away from you. So, So one of the things people chatted to me about was to put even more shims on my rear inner link.
Right.
Okay, one of the things that someone said was if they look at the actual plate, sort of the plate where the link sits, maybe on a Kyosho might be like 2 mil lower than anyone else's, or maybe lower than a B6. So if you put 2 mil on it, you're probably just at the same level as someone else.
Right.
So I then, first round, thought, if we're going to make a change, make a big change. I went from 2 mil to 4 mil.
Nice.
See if I could feel the difference.
Yeah, and could you?
Unfortunately, yes, car felt really good. However, I just used the same ball stud and then put 4 mil of washers on it.
Ah, right. Okay.
And then just screwed it into a plastic plate because this is my 10.5 car. And as I went round a corner, I just caught the inside and, one of those things. Don't shout at Marshall. It's not clever. But I did this right in front of Tipsy. Everyone else, one of the guys who sits with us all the time, Chris Tips, listens every week. And Tips never moved. Tips is looking straight at it. And he's not moved. And I'm going, bloody hell, Tipsy. Right? And then he strolls over, picks the car off and walks off.
I did on the same, even if it wasn't broke.
Yeah, I think what the view was, he clearly saw the entire link had come off. Well, I hadn't known that. So then what I did what all grown-ups would do at that point. I just super glued it in.
Nice.
And it worked really well.
Okay.
Though, I thought it worked well. The other issue I was having was my motor was getting hot. It wasn't as hot. It was hotter than some people's. So the temperatures I knew of motors in 10.5 on Sunday, some people's got to 50. Mine got to 70.
Right.
And I think one of Tipsy's got to 90.
Okay.
And what we were doing is, I was going to say 10.5 at Southport, Paul Rotherham, All the first round, brilliant. TQ and won. This one, I think he TQ'd and won, but people got a lot closer. And one of the things I was talking to him about, so, why's your calves a bit more poke? Why's yours seems really quick? Because also, because of my involvement in Southport, if someone else sees someone doing really well, they don't go to them. Some people would go to them and went, "Hi, Paul, what's your secrets?" And Paul would tell them exactly what he was doing, right?
Yeah.
Whereas other people would come to me, or Tony, or Evo, or Eric, and go, "What's Paul up to?" I'm going, "I don't know, just ask him. He seems to be driving really well." But when I was speaking to him, what he was saying is, my view for 10.5 was turn the boost up, put a big pinion on, because that's what we all did last year.
Yeah.
But he says, no, it's the other way round. Turn your boost. But when I keep saying boost or turbo, I don't mean boost on me. I mean timing on your motor.
Yeah.
Turn the timing on your motor down,
Makes
and
it more
put
torquey.
a smaller pinion on. Because he goes, what you need is pull out the corner. This is not stock on-road racing where we're just going sweepy. This is Southport indoors. We're going straight, hairpin, 90, jump, hairpin, 90, jump. So we're not... Indoors so that's what I tried to do. I didn't do enough of that. So I did drop an opinion, I turned it down. I drop another opinion, I turned it down. But I still think it had things to go. And I got better and better throughout the day.
Okay.
Or my times got better. But I don't think I could have gone down 2 pinions. I could have turned my timing down another 10%. What else to do? Oh, and then because I super glued my ball studs in, Carl and I think it was Mark Graham sent me a message or said, well, why don't you try, you've got 4 mil, why don't you try 3?
Right.
And I went, yeah, I can't do that because I can actually I could take my ball stud out because the super glue wasn't that strong, but I'd super glued my 2 plastic shims to my ball stud. So I said I'll do that. So I'm thinking, well, okay, I see what they're talking about. Maybe if I could drop it by 1, that would maybe gain me a bit more rear. But I couldn't do that.
So you would have wanted to have raised your roll centre by dropping the inner ball stud by a mil.
Yes.
Okay.
So what I thought was, well, I can't take one off the back because I've super glued them off. So what I'll do is I'll just put one on the front. So I think that's the same thing. It's not clearly the same thing, but it does something similar. And actually, the car, and in the final, my lap time, see, this is the way Aiden's head works. So actually, in my final, I gave me my best lap times. Unfortunately, I made a few too many mistakes.
There you go. Trying to push too hard, see.
Yeah, I was getting used to it. In fact, when I was sitting there going, I wonder how hard I can throw this into the gun. It's like the...
Yeah, when you're in a final, that's the wrong time to be going, I wonder how hard I can push this into that corner.
Yeah, but because I was just getting better and better, I was thinking, all right, okay. Oh, this is really good. I wonder how good this is. I've just, I've not qualified well. I've snuck in the bottom of the B. I'd like to say I'd stuck in the bottom of the B with the fella who won it last year. So there's a few of us. We've had some new people come in, and whereas Garner and Borley have done really well and stepped up again, a few of us from last year who were doing okay have all just fallen apart.
Oh dear.
So
goes like that, though, mate. Goes like that.
Yeah, and I was quite happy to say because it was just, I thought it was getting better. It was like, it's like the rear of the car was quite, Felix says locked in doesn't really exist. It's like centrifugal force, I believe, doesn't exist either. So it's like the rear of the car was quite locked in, but the front was really cool. And then the other change I did was I went from, what front spring have I got on?
Well, you've probably got a Team Associated front spring on there somewhere.
Yeah, that's why I was asking you. So I think what's the hardest? Is it blue or purple?
Purple.
So, and then is the one below that orange?
Yeah, purple, orange, red.
Okay, so I went from a purple to an orange for a bit.
Okay. And did you feel like that helped?
Difficult to say, because in the round I did that. That maybe this was the issue of going from purple to an orange, was I just made too many mistakes. So it's difficult to sort me times out. It felt good. It didn't feel as good as going back to purple and putting an extra washer on.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's slightly different. So
it would have given you a bit more lean on the front, putting the washer on.
Right, okay.
It would have made the front end sort of lean about a little bit more.
That's what I think it did. I don't know how that affected. I just thought it drove really well. I did one of me rounds. That's actually, again, don't I always, Sarah? Guess what? The round I made the least mistakes was my quickest time. But the problem was, I was driving it round, and it was just so easy, and everything was really good. And then when I looked at my times, I was just driving around the track half a second slower than everyone else.
Yeah.
That's why it was dead easy.
Yeah, I've won finals doing that.
No, I couldn't win. I think I came like third or fourth in the heat, and there was a heat above me. But yeah, really good. I thought it was a really good meeting. I'll have to talk about my mate Ross, who came all the way down from Glasgow. He said Glasgow then.
Yeah.
What a hero.
How did Ross get on?
I don't think he did that well. I think at Glasgow, they do maybe a bit of carpet, a bit of slippy floor.
Right.
So our brand new Astro on tyres he's never seen before.
Yeah.
I think it maybe caught him out.
Got ya.
A lot of guys sort of came over and helped him and suggested things to him, but I think he was just there to sort of see what it was like.
Had he driven down that day, or was it like the day before and he'd stayed over?
No, he'd got the train down about 4 or 5 days before.
Oh, okay.
He was down down visiting a friend.
Nice.
It just coincided with the same time Southport was on. We might see him at a future round. I tell you what he does do, which I thought was excellent. He's done a 3D model of the Glasgow track.
Okay.
I have no idea how he's done that, but it's like one of these things you can move around in. And I think he's done that of Glasgow and Falkirk, and I think that's what he's doing at uni. So if you want a fancy picture of your track, somehow, speak to Ross in the group. There he is. Lovely fella.
Nice.
All the way down from Glasgow. Again, full meeting, mate. Everything's really good. No issues.
Nice. Nice.
Tommy did. I've mentioned Tommy. Tommy qualified in the C.
Excellent. And where was because Tommy and Tipsy, that's Chris Tipping for all you out there that don't know, they've been battling it out in the same finals and qualifiers for ages. And then Tipsy got a lot better when he got his B6, and then he changed to a one of those screamy, noisy belt things.
He was trying to tell me what it was called, but I couldn't hear it.
No, you just can't. Whenever somebody says it, there's generally one going around the track, and you just couldn't quite hear that. Sorry, mate. But I know he changed to one of them. So how did he get on compared to Tommy with his new car?
Tommy was in the final above Tipsy.
Oh dear. See what happens when you change from a B6, Tips. Bad move, bud. Bad move.
So Tommy had a great day.
Good.
Put himself in the sea. Again, different set of skills in the mid finals than there is in the bottom finals.
So, just a quick, slightly off topic, but same topic kind of question. When are you guys going to start running four-wheel drive, seeing as you are proud owner of a four-wheel drive now?
Well, you can run a four-wheel drive on a club day at Southport,
Mm.
and if you're brand new and that's the only thing you've got, we could let you into a turf wars.
Okay.
But if you're any good, no, we won't let you on a four-wheel drive. Not a turf wars. Two-wheel drive com.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. So you're going to be getting some practice in before the Milton Keynes GP?
I will be getting practice in, yes. My plan is to go and visit the Northeast. Excellent plan.
It's always worth practicing in a nice, easy region.
It's practicing in. So I'm going to see all my KO show friends.
Yeah.
I don't know, mate. Hopefully some of them listen to this.
Let's hope so.
We could, they'll be able to help me and do all this. And I'm like, I'm not changing the oil on the day. Don't ask me to do that. Tell me what oil to bring then. And that's what I'll do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
I'll change it for him. If you're going to suggest a change to Aidan, probably the best thing to do is when he's marshalling, take his car, say, I'll take that for you, Aidan, and then just start taking stuff apart. Yeah,
do that. Quite happy with that. Quite happy. In fact, if I just bring me spare car, they can check. I think it's a big. It's a big meeting in the Northeast. I think it's like there's 120 people. It's one of the sort of winter series rounds at noon. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be my practice for Milton Keynes. They have some carpet.
Okay. You're going to run on any EOS carpet to get your car set up nicely for that?
I think that's EOS carpet.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to go there. No, though, I think you're going to say it's a complete waste of time now. I've just thought of this. I think their control tyre is darts.
Excellent. You get your things set up for darts.
Yep.
That'd be a great thing.
So that'll be good. What I'm really looking for is, these guys have been, I don't even realise, they have been really helpful and useful. And if they all just communicated in one way, that would be easier than some people private messaging me and then other people replying in the group or on the page or something. Mm-hmm. But, there's a lot of help out there. A lot of guys doing a lot of stuff. So I'm hoping to get myself into maybe see how close my setup, when I say mine, it's clearly Tony Parr's setup is close to theirs.
Yeah.
And then see how, I think that would be quite interesting to see for me. Because I just want, me, mate, I just want something that generally works everywhere.
Yeah, that's never going to be the case though, mate. You can get a sort of...
I think it can be, as long as it's not bad.
This is the thing that I've been saying for a long time to you, is that what you need is a setup that you turn up to the track with. You need an indoor setup, you need an outdoor setup, you want a wet setup, and you want to know what's going to happen before you get there. So that when you get to the track, you know what your car is meant to do.
Just for me.
Because that's always your starting point. And then you just work things from there. It's the classic thing of copying setups from people. And I've seen countless people do it. Copy a setup and then go onto Facebook and go, oh, your setup was fucking terrible. Oh, it didn't work. Oh, how can you drive it like that? Well, that's because they've practiced with that setup and they've run it, and that's what worked for them, their hands and their driving skills on that particular day. There is no guarantee that if you copy a setup off someone, it's going to work for you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said, to see how close mine is to theirs. I think Will Venable said it when he came on, he's exactly that. It's exactly what he does. He's got one setup and it just seems to work everywhere.
Yeah,
just change it on the day. It's not like sometimes as it was in my head. Oh, I'm going to Bury. It's like, there's more ups and downs in Southport, so I need to change it for ups and downs.
Yeah.
Rather than get there with a car that I knew was pretty similar to what it would be, and then go, oh, okay, I need to go around that corner quicker.
Yeah.
Or, oh, it's a bit squishy there. Someone help. So I really everyone enjoyed the day at Southport. Loads of great feedback. Our next meeting we're not on this week, and then our next meeting is like the 28th of December for the Christmas meeting. If you're interested in going, please message Eric. Very limited numbers. We haven't got the hall for a long time.
Possibility of a vintage class if at least 6 of you turn up and all that.
Well, if anyone turns up and they booked in, they can run whenever they want. To be honest, if you get smashed out the way by some Tenco car with a 5.5 inch, your own fault. But if you book in,
some front heavy techno,
yeah, just smashing
the
it out the way.
bulldozer of RC.
Yeah. Sorry, mate, that was me just chatting on. But so you went. More importantly, you went to mend it.
Yeah, I did.
Changed.
Yeah, I did. I went and had a look at the new. I'd say new track. It's the revamped half of the track that the guys have put lots and lots of time into. Yeah, awesome. It runs really, really, really nicely. It's the first time, for anybody that knows Mendip out there are two main tabletops. The one just in front of the rostrum, unchanged, really. So that was as it has been for the last year or two. The one at the back, the big one, which is next to the tree stump, kind of loopy corner bit, that is the best I've ever been able to take it, because you could just smash your car over it. They've sorted the landing out, and it just flowed all the way through. I thought it was excellent, mate. The track ran really, really nicely. It was meant to be dry. It had been dry all week, so my car was ready for a nice dry run on some Astro, and then we just had that really crap rain that doesn't actually rain. It just makes everything piss wet through. So me and Dancer went up and we met Rob Painter up there and Alan Painter from Nuclear RC, and the four of us just smashed around the track for the day and gave it a really good blast. It was wet to start with, and then it kind of dried up to a point where I was going, right, I'm going to stick a full set of dry tyres on now. I'm not going to change the rest of the setup on the car. I might tighten the slipper a little bit. So I go back to the pits. I've got a new battery in there. I'm all excited because I can turn things up a little bit, because, and it's drying out. You can just put a bit more power down. And as I'm walking out of the pits, it just starts to rain a little bit. And I was like, well,
oh, God.
I've put yellows on now. I'm gonna do a few laps, because hopefully this rain hasn't been too bad. And the track's still going to have a bit of grip to it. But no. Literally, as soon as I put my car down and touched the accelerator, it just turned the other way.
Oh.
Just did a donut on the spot, turned the other way. I think I did 3 or 4 laps with it like that, struggling through, and then just went back and put some wet tyres on it again. And it was great. And then the wind picked up a little bit, which dried the Astro out again. And by the end of the day, I did that video. That is it's in the group, I think I posted that.
Right.
Did a video just at the end of the day with some dry tyres on. You could see it was still wet. In bits, it was still slippery. So you couldn't put the power down you would normally do on an Astro track as you come out of a corner. You just had to feed everything in nice and steady. But it was great. Really, really enjoyed it. The lads have done a cracking job up there. I know there's been a lot of stick given that it's lost a lot of character. For me,
it did have a lot of character.
The one thing Mendip didn't need was any more character. What it didn't need was any more, I think what would have happened is if they got, oh, what we're going to do, lads, we're going to keep everything the same and we're going to add another feature.
Good God, yeah.
My God. Well, you just would have had nowhere in that track to kind of race. You just would have been up, down, jump, up, down. And, it was getting hard work. It needed a bit of a touch-up. And I think really looking at it, and now I've driven it, cracking job. And do you know what? I turned up there thinking, I'm going to hate this.
Good.
I'm going to be really pissed off with this, because Mendip to me is a proper off-road track. It is a proper hardcore off-road. If you're used to driving on a flat track, you're going to struggle at Mendip.
Yes.
Because Mendip will throw your car on its roof for no fucking reason whatsoever. You just be going along, everything's fine, and then I'm upside down. And that was the local knowledge advantage at Mendip, is you knew where those bits were and you could avoid them and you could go round them, or you could just let off a little bit for them. But now, what Mendip is, as well as being a proper off-roaders track, is also a racers track. And
brilliant.
I really think when Opel goes back there next year, that's probably going to be one of the raciest Opels that Mendip has seen, because especially if they can get the back bit finished off. There's a little bit right at the very top right hand side, you can probably see it on the video, it's a bit sort of black section at the back at the right, and that just needs a bit more Astro on it, and the track will be mega once that's done. It is anyway. It's fantastic. So if you're in the area and you get yourself a track pass, or you're a member down there, get down there and try it out, because you won't be disappointed with it. Seriously, it's wicked fun. Yeah, it was great. Check the video out.
Yeah, I like the video, that one, and then you put an older video up of what it was. Now, the first thing to remember is the difference in the temperature of those 2 days.
Yes, that's very true. And the amount of time there has been between one video and another.
Yeah.
That was my old B5M before any of the laydowns. And
was it?
Yeah, God, yeah. I think I had a 4-gear in that. 4-gear stand-up. Wow. Awesome car. Loved that thing. Never get it to work properly, but love that car. So, yeah, it was obviously very different driving going on in the two videos. So, you take that out of it. The point is, this is what we used to race on. This is what we've got now. And
I'm certainly looking forward to getting down. How would we know where the Opels are or where they're going to be? But, we'd both be upset if there wasn't one at Mendip this year.
Oh, people would be strangled if there wasn't a Mendip Opel.
Yeah.
I know where you live, Damo. I'm not frightened of hiding behind your bins.
No, again.
Again.
We could stay at Danny James's house. I'm sure he lives close. Danny had put us up. So, yeah, mate, I've seen the pictures. It was a bit unclear to see until you put those vids up, I think.
It's difficult, I think, to gauge it just on the pictures that have been put up beforehand. I think it was really, really difficult for people to see. And I can understand, because when I saw those pictures, I was going, look at that, what's going on there? But I think, really, if you have a look at that video, you'll look at it and you'll go, yeah, that hasn't lost anything. That's gained. If anything, it's definitely gained.
And so well done to all the people who've done all the work on those.
Yeah, well done, Rob Painter and Gary and all the other guys that have been down there and stuck their hand in. I know Tony Cooper's done a bit, and I think there's definitely a good group of lads that went down and lended a hand when they could. But I will say, Rob Painter, superstar as always when it comes to RC in the Southwest. He puts the effort in, he puts the time in, and yeah, nice one to Rob. You've done a good bit of work there, bud. And bollocks to the haters, mate. You put the work in. So be proud of it.
I can't see how I'm going to turn around and say, "Is anyone hating on that track?" They're clearly wrong. That's it. It's fine. Please do hate on that track. Please do put comments and go. If I see I've never seen one, but if I ever saw a comment that said the new Mendip is awful,
you know what I'm going to do now? Hang on a minute.
Are you going to type that in?
Let's just get that typed in now.
Yeah. If I saw that, I would read that as there's something wrong with me. Or this is a cry for help.
Yeah. I need help with my setup and car.
That's what Mendip awesome, loved it. Loved if I would love it if they never changed it. But what they've looked, what I've seen of it, and what you've said of it, sounds brilliant, mate. Looking forward to it if we get down there this summer, Mendip.
Oh, I'm sure
that'll be great.
I'm sure we will. So, enough from us because we've dribbled on for nearly just over half an hour now, and I'm sure everybody's bored, fed up with hearing about mine and your weekends. So, shall we try and get someone on?
Let's do that.
Okay, mate. Yeah, let's go for it then. Who are we getting on this week?
Well, ideally, if I can sort this out, we're going to try and speak to James Helliwell.
Excellent. So James Helliwell, obviously running the Robin Hood Raceway Club and Track. I believe the only clay track left in the UK, really, that's certainly for 10th scale that's used anymore. So you with us, James?
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
how you doing?
How are you guys? I'm good, thanks. Very well.
Good man. Yeah, we're all good. We're all good here.
Hi, James.
Hi, Aidan.
How's your day going?
Pretty good. I've just been to a 3-hour crime meeting with the local police, so that's been a bit draining. But yeah, good to speak to you guys to wind down a bit.
Yeah, nice one, man. Nice one. Yeah, you've had. I've seen quite a few of your posts go up. You get quite a bit of stuff going on up there, don't you? I wouldn't have expected quite so much with the sort of remoteness of the sort of site and the farm itself.
Yeah, a lot of people are surprised because we're quite rural, but yeah, we get more than our fair share.
Yeah.
It's not just us, though, is it? There's a number of clubs that are targeted, and I saw one post today, poor guys had all his racing equipment stolen.
Yeah, it seems to be... I don't know whether this is I've said it plenty of times about lots of stuff. I don't know whether it's the fact that the information and the news, if you like, is that much more accessible now to everybody and that much more visible to everybody instantly, that we now just see it more. Has it always been happening? Has it always been about? Or is it just that we now know about it?
I think it's a bit worse. But yeah, it's probably a combination of the two. Bad news spreads quicker than good news in a way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, there is a lot of crime. But not to worry, we'll keep fighting on.
No, it's not stopped you putting together the best UK venue for RC.
Well, we keep trying. You can't let them grind you down, can you?
No, you can't. Well, you can't. You got to keep going, and that's one of the big things for me is how on earth do you keep that place going like you do?
Because we've got the dream team. I think we've got just a superb gang of people.
Nice
volunteers. Whether weekends when I'm sure they'd be far rather doing something much more exciting. But yeah, they all turn up.
Never underestimate.
Just graft away for the benefits of everybody else. Hopefully.
Yeah. You can't underestimate how enthusiastic people are about coming to a toy car track, whether it's work or play, I think.
Well, I don't know about that, but cake plays a big part in this as a bit of bribery goes on.
Yeah, it does, and I bet you all of them have got a car in the boot just to run a few test laps once the work's done as well.
To be honest, generally, when we have a work day, people work, and they work really hard.
Yeah.
If we're putting in a whole new feature, like a new jump or a tabletop or a berm or something, yeah, of course, a couple of folks will bring a car and we'll test it.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, it's hard work, and it's the same clubs up and down the land, as you're both well aware.
Certainly are. certainly are well aware of how hard it is to get people there when the work needs to be done. It's someone said it to me once. It's the most important thing in the world when you stood up on the rostrum, but as soon as you walk off, all of a sudden it doesn't matter quite so much, and it's just toy car racing again.
Yeah. It's often the same people. Again, you'll be aware of that.
Yeah.
Build tracks, pack away, and those odd hours from the folks who perhaps don't normally help out, they're so useful, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
So well appreciated by the clubs in question. I don't think folks realise how useful half an hour here and there actually is.
No, of course not. Of course not.
I mean, I was trying to think, say, a couple of weeks ago, that we should just try and have something where we say, look, you've just got to give. If everyone gave half a day a year, we wouldn't know what to do with ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think people should be thinking about, I don't care if they give it to you or give it to Bury or give it to Southport or when they do that during the year, but they should be thinking, if there's a work party going on at your local track, then don't just drive an hour past that to go somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean, do you guys run quite a few practice sessions up at Robin Hood? Is it sort of open to like club members through the summer if they want to come down and have a few hours practice and stuff?
The track is open 365 days a year.
Okay.
And we do have people on Christmas Day, believe it or not.
Nice.
We had about 4 last year, I think.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we don't really operate a you've joined the club so you can come for free type policy. If someone works on the track, then those guys get to use it basically as much as they want for nothing.
Yeah, that's generally
it's really a pay-as-you-go arrangement.
That's fair enough.
It's £5 for a full day.
Yeah.
And you don't need to be a member of the club as such, just a member of the BRCA, and it's all arranged prior to a visit. You can't just turn up.
Yeah.
That's how we do it.
So does it send you a message on to the club Facebook page or something like that?
There's my email address on the website, there's phone number, there's Facebook, there's any method of contacting me. I've got a new chap who's contacted me through Oopal. Not raced for a good 10 years. He's coming on Friday with a pal.
Nice.
Brilliant.
It's very busy.
Yeah, good. I always say, like, if you're going down for a practice, one thing that I do when I go down to Mendip for a practice, or when I've been down there, is, because that's obviously local for me, is that before I go and put my car around the track, I just walk round, I pull a few weeds out, try and do a few bits and bobs whilst I'm there.
Pick a bit of litter.
Pick a bit of litter up, it might be menial stuff, but that's just stuff that, saves somebody else having to do it. And if
litter's one of my pet hates, particularly BRCA numbers cut down. They look cooler cut into a little rectangle, but those little bits of sticky back paper all over the place. Yeah, it's such a faff picking them up afterwards.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I can imagine. And you get some big numbers down at Robin Hood as well, so I can imagine that's like confetti after a wedding.
Yeah, and the mower tends to not enjoy tent pegs and Coke cans and so on.
Oh, right, yeah.
Things.
Yeah,
so how do you feel that the season's gone at Robin Hood? Busy one? I'm just trying to think.
Yeah, it's been busy. We had BRCA National and the Inver National, of course, which was as big as ever.
Yeah.
Managed to get away with some decent weather.
Yeah, we've been really lucky.
Had the Bradby Cup, which we'll be running again, which, if you don't know, is 6-minute races and 4 to count from 4.
Wow,
with bump-up finals.
Right.
That's at the beginning of the season to kick off, and then the Autumn Cup at the end.
So how do you work the bump-ups then on that? Because obviously with electric, there's always this big thing about the batteries being charged and all of that sort of stuff. If you've got somebody that's been in the bottom final that's had crap qualifying and should really be in sort of a C or a B, how does that kind of work? Do you knock down the numbers on the upper finals? And
the simple answer is you can only enter one class.
Okay.
And the way we stagger the finals, you get 8 who go straight into the top final, and 2 which bump up from the bottom.
Okay.
And if you're running 120 in the meeting, 60 of each, you just alternate a 2-wheel drive and a 4-wheel drive.
Right.
Nominate a marshal. If you're going to bump up through a whole load of finals, but generally you might only get one or two. You're not going to get, loads of people bumping up through numerous finals. Generally, you're only down perhaps one.
Yeah,
or
luck
two
doesn't
at most
last
of where
that long.
where you should be.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. And what date is the Bradbury Cup?
It'll be end of March.
End of March.
Yeah.
And you had an Oopal as well.
Yeah.
You had a normal Oopal as well this year, right there, didn't you?
Right
at the beginning of the year, my transmitter broke.
Yeah,
correct. Yeah, I remember. You broke your transmitter.
Range. Well, do you know what I turned up on the Friday at like 11:30. And then you opened it for practice, and I had 6 hours of the best practice runs I think I have ever had in my life. It was the best start to the year's racing I think I've ever had, was that Friday. And then I did the first round of qualifying on Saturday morning, went through practice, first round of qualifying, great. Beat everybody else in the tent, which was my aim. And then on the second qualifier, I think I did 2 laps, and my car just stopped. And it was the range on my transmitter had just gone, oh, you've got about 15 feet, and that's it. That is it. And that was it.
Yeah,
that was weekend
really
over.
Not ideal.
No, I think we were. If you listen to the episode straight after that, I think we said, the Friday was one of the best RC days. It sounds terrible like this, but it was one of the best RC days we had because the weather was great. There was 30 or 40 people there already on the Friday. The timing computer was on, just reading your times out.
Yeah, that's what we do on a Wednesday night.
Oh, okay.
Well, that just made it brilliant. We don't run that. I don't think we. You must. Do you use BBK?
Yes.
Okay, so we use RC Time, and RC Timing doesn't do that, or Eric hasn't found the button to do that. So we just had the most epic 6 hours of just coming out, trying to improve, trying to get better times. It was just great.
I remember you did a Facebook Live, actually,
Oh,
when you arrived.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
That was Matt. Matt generally does them as he's driving in.
Yeah, it was pretty. I think you probably did that, actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
I did.
far off.
I wasn't on the road, just for any police that are listening. I pulled off the road, and the Facebook Live of the sign, and then the drive down into the track.
Yeah,
and I almost
very safely
ran over Mark Christopher, which I did my best, but he's quite dodgy.
Yeah, I think he booked his spot about a month in advance.
Yeah, he does. He does. He loves it, Mark. He loves getting there early. So, what have you been doing up there? Have you had the maintenance day up?
Yeah, we've had a couple. Last Sunday we were doing the end of the straight, and the previous one to that we redid the bank corner, which is the beginning of the straight.
Ah, okay.
Replaced the AstroTurf, smoothed a few bumps out.
Yeah.
There's a concrete curb which you might remember. It's quite acute. That's not quite so high now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But yeah, we've levelled it all off a bit. The end of the straight is now more banked and it's wider.
Okay.
And there's been an area where the water just seems to collect a little bit damp before you're actually turning into your first right-hander.
Yeah.
So we've raised that a bit.
Okay.
So all the groundworks are done, and we're just going to relay fresh AstroTurf this weekend, hopefully.
Nice. So have you actually got like drainage under the track, or does it just kind of do it anyway?
No, there's a huge sump underneath the bomb hole.
Right.
With a huge hole in the middle, about the size of a dustbin. And we can just peel the AstroTurf back, drop a pump in, and empty that.
Okay.
The 2 low points, like mini bomb holes underneath the rostrum, they've actually got plastic drainage channels underneath the AstroTurf.
Right.
And they drain off the track to the outside into another sump where we can just drop a pump in and drain those.
Nice, okay.
And we've got the magic sponge. Have you ever seen that? The big roller?
Oh yes, I have. Yeah, I have seen that. I'm sure it came out at
another club's got one now. I can't remember.
Bury have got one.
Bury've got one, right.
Yeah,
it was Mike Cockle who saw them using it on a cricket pitch, I think it was.
Right.
So he got that for us.
So,
Nice.
so some of the stuff that we say is because you're like a farmer, aren't you?
Yes, I'm exactly like a farmer.
Okay. You see, being a city boy, farmers live on tractors all day. Wait, have you always enjoyed RC? Is it something you've had for a long time? Is it? Do other farmers think you're crazy because you're using a field for something else, or do other farmers think you're a genius because you're using a field for something else?
Well, a lot of farms have diversified now into whatever, making ice cream, tea shops, whatever.
Yeah.
They think it's pretty neat because it's so completely different, which is good for us because there's not really any, if you want to call them competitors locally. We don't see them as competitors. I think more clubs in an area is actually a good thing.
Yeah.
I think having more clubs brings up everybody's membership a little bit, rather than particularly taking one away from the other. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, since '88, that's when I started.
Wow,
it's a long time ago.
What did you start with?
A Thundershot. Tell me a Thundershot.
Okay.
In a pub car park. Dad heard it on the local radio. That there was a model car get together behind a pub. So I think I was 10 or 11.
Yeah.
And we just went along to watch. Thought it was awesome. Loads of nagging. Managed to get a car as a Christmas present, I think it was.
Excellent.
And took it up, but it was really basic then. The organiser just ticked laps off.
Yeah.
On a bit of paper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mechanical speedos.
Oh yeah.
I remember them. My old Tamiya had one of them.
It was pretty basic back then.
Yeah. Okay. And what are you running now?
X-ray in both.
Right.
Okay. And is that
I haven't
sort
got
of
the 18 car yet, but yeah, the 17's in both.
Are you team driving for X-ray, or are you just privateering for it?
Not direct with X-ray, but through RC Disco.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got ya.
And Moss Models, our local shop, gives me a bit of help.
And how have you felt your season's gone?
Really good, actually. I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, you've had some decent
I don't
results
do a
from
whole
what
lot of
I've
racing
seen.
outside of nationals.
Right.
But yeah, I was 14th in 4-wheel and
Wow. Okay.
20th in 2-wheel.
No, you can't moan at that.
So
You can't moan at
quite
that.
happy with that. No.
No, I think that's sort of my aim for 2019 is to do some, or at least do enough national rounds to kind of count and just see. That's my last year before I hit 40.
Yeah.
And I want to get in there and do some nationals before I'm classed in the Aiden class.
The best class, the vets.
Yeah.
I think I'm in that next year.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
You won't be popular.
There's a few quick vets out there now, actually, with Eugene and Kevley and Nathan, Damien.
And they'll all be really pleased you've named them as well.
Yeah.
I think, for me, I haven't done nationals yet. I didn't end the season this year. And that was pretty good. I didn't do any regionals though, so I went, rather than going from an F3 to, what I would like to think would be an F2, I went from an F3 to an F4 because I only did one regional. So next year is going to be a bit of a make-up year, try and get my F ranking back to where I'd like it to be. And then try and sort of smash the nationals in 2019 and just see what sort of pace I've got compared to that scene. Because I know, at Oupel, there's good competition at Oupel, but it's not national level competition, if you know what I mean. So
everyone seems to up a gear for nationals.
Yeah. Well, why do you think that is?
Just because everybody's there. All your main competitors from around the whole country are there. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to, if you want to do well, you just have to find a little bit extra from your average meeting.
Yeah.
Because, you make a mistake at a regional, you might lose one place. You do it at a national, you'll lose 6, 7, 8 or more. So you've just got to be that little bit more on it.
Yeah.
I suppose you spend a bit more on tyres and a little bit more maintenance time, perhaps, just make sure everything is perfect. And all those little bits just add up to that extra few percent.
So when you said you mainly did nationals, is that what? Are you going to find out that is that when you really do your prep? Just I'm going to a national. My car will be perfect before I get there, and then maybe would your car then stay the same until the next national you did?
Yeah, I'll make sure the cars are just right for a national.
Mm-hmm.
But other meetings, I'll probably not do a whole lot, really.
Yeah.
You can do all the maintenance and setup you like until you hit the track.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know. So I'm often quite frantically working on the car at a meeting to make it work. But yeah,
I can't do that. See, that for me is my nightmare of turning up to even if it's a club day for me. I will have my car stripped from the last meeting, shocks rebuilt, diff rebuilt, cleaned, and looking like a new car before I turn up to that club race or regional or Opel or whatever it is. And even at the Opel races, Aidan will vouch for it. On a Saturday after qualifying, I'm not down the pub. I'm in the hotel with both my cars in bits.
Yeah, I'm not saying I don't do maintenance. I'm saying I don't do maintenance for the sake of it.
Yeah,
Just a bit of experience tells you which bits you need to pay attention to.
Yeah, yeah. Shocks and diff is my two things. Shocks mainly, but yeah, shocks and diff are the two things I just won't go without doing.
Yeah,
I've had them fail on me before when I haven't done it.
So with those two bits on I'm sorry, not going back to the Astro track at Robin Hood. On those two bits, you've done the beginning and the end of the straight. Are there any other planned changes for next year?
We might look at the second lane out. There's a double that's been in place for a long time now. We did tweak it for last year, but it's still not good enough. It doesn't flow very nicely. I think the main... Go on.
I was just saying that I'm just trying to picture which one you're on about, and you're talking about the one just the rostrum side of the bomb hole?
Yes. So immediately under the rostrum is a tabletop.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then one lane out is a double.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we resculpted it last year so you could take it from either direction.
Mm-hmm.
And that never really works, we've found.
Okay.
So we might make it into a low tabletop with a bit of a roller aspect to it, but we're not 100% sure. But it doesn't flow, so we need to do something.
Okay.
We're still deciding. We'll finish the end of the straight off and then stare at it for a bit and decide between us exactly what we're going to do.
Is that going to be like your big change for the year then? If you actually do find the time and get to it, will that be the kind of big difference for 2018?
Yes, I mean we've done a fair bit with the bank corner, the straight, and the end of the straight already. It's all difficult work with heavy AstroTurf, but those two changes will be the main things. We may put a raised viewing area in as well, people to stand on, and some permanent wire mesh netting at the end of the straight. But we're still thinking about that.
And then that thing that's next to the Astro track, the dirt one. What's going on with
that? I'm hoping we can put a meeting together May or June next year.
Right, okay.
It's really, again, it's down to maintenance. We can only do so much, and last year we focused on putting the building up.
Yep. Do you know, everybody thought that building was going over the clay track.
No, it would have to be huge to go over the clay track.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen videos of you running buggies in there, though.
It's great fun. Yeah. We had a Tamiya crowd come up last Saturday. They got the huge big track to run on if they wanted to. We just went all day in there.
No way.
No wind. Kettle 5 feet away.
Yeah.
And they're quite happy. I've got a small rostrum in there, and as you've seen, a little layout with ropes and 2 or 3 jumps.
Yeah, it works really well anyway. For us, I used it for pitting this year, and as a kind of pit area for, I suppose, nationals, the Invernational, which was where I was in there, works really, really well. It's definitely a big bonus for the place.
Yeah, it needs to be multi-purpose to make it viable. I mean, if we covered the dirt track, would it make much difference to income? Probably not a huge amount.
No.
Because you can't run dirt meetings every week. The maintenance would just cripple it. You wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think it's the most lovely and crazy thing anyone has ever done. I love you for it. That one time we'll sort it out. One time when we go, yeah, come on, let's do it. The weather, boom. Wow. The
meetings we've held at have been superb.
Yeah.
I turned up for the. I'd actually booked. I think you bought my hotel room off me. I booked the entire week off just to come and watch the Euros, and then got called into work and could only do one day. Amazing, absolutely amazing. We spent, me, Tommy, Eric drove all the way from Liverpool on that one day. Watched 2-wheel drive finals.
That was a good day. Yeah,
beautiful sunny day. We just sat around with smiles on our faces. Yeah. The amount of work that must have gone into that.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. We had probably knocking on 60 people for the week of the Euros, volunteers.
Christ.
It's just
you can't moan
unbelievable.
At that.
I can't, just while we're on, I can't thank people enough who helped that week and since, and just the general volunteers that come and help at Blythe.
I'm going to mention someone who's an idiot, but I'm going to mention him, Stevie Brew. Basically, he had not raced a car for 2 years, but still took a week off. Yeah, he'd not raced a car for 2 years, and goes, "I'm still going there. That's where my week's holiday is. Boom, I'm going."
He drove over and gave us a hand painting a couple of times prior to the event itself. Yeah. It's a long way.
Yeah, it is, and he's only got little legs. So it was great. And then after doing all that and being so brilliant, you applied for a Worlds.
Yeah. Seemed like a good idea at the time.
What's the kind of process with that then? What have you got to sort of supply for them to be in with the shop?
Well, I think technically it's the BRCA that applies on your behalf.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So beginning of the process, you really need to let the BRCA or whichever country it is, their organising body, know that you're serious, that you've got the manpower, that you've got the capital, because it's not cheap.
Right.
And basically that you can do it, and you're not going to get folks from all over the world, and it'd be a complete flop.
Yeah. Yep.
So they could have quite easily said, no, we don't think you're capable of doing it, but thankfully they did support us, and that led to me putting an application together, a full written application covering everything from track, rostrum, catering, pitting, power, airports, trains, you name it.
Yeah.
There was some discussion regarding tyre choices, because you were, obviously the idea was to run it on the Astro track, wasn't it?
Yes.
And then there was some discussion. Go on.
The IFMAR rule is that you can only have one compound.
Ooh.
So ideally, on an AstroTurf track, of course, there's a wet and a dry compound.
Mm-hmm.
And that normally works on clay, because generally it's dry-ish.
Yeah, if it's wet,
you only need one compound. So, that created a bit of a headache fairly early on. We settled on a Schumacher tyre, and we had a lot of discussions with Schumacher and Trish and coming up with a solution, and eventually we did a tyre and compound that does work really well in wet and dry.
So where is this mystical amazing tyre.
Well, I think you'll have to discuss that with Schumacher. It's not really my place to go any further with it. But we did,
James, don't worry about it, mate. Only 9 people listen to this. It's fine. No one will ever know. Trish certainly never listens. Hi, Trish. Hi, Trish.
Yeah.
Well, we had to come up with a solution, and Schumacher gave us a solution, and
Brilliant.
That's where we're at.
Yeah,
What happens from here on is up to them.
Yeah, I suppose the requirements for an IFMAR Worlds tyre that people are only going to run once is
Well,
then
I
complete.
think it'd be great. You wouldn't get the 40 people stood at the side of the track going, "Is it yellows? Is it yellows? What are you? Is it yellows yet?"
I love that, James.
That's ace.
I love
Who's going to
that.
be the first to go?
I love that. I love being the first. Do you know what? I'm going for it. I'm putting yellows on, and everybody goes, "Oh, he's got yellows on. He's got yellows on." You're mad putting yellows on, and then you just put in a blinder, and it's great when that happens. I love doing that. If I can be the first one on yellows, that's me.
Yeah. Alternatively, when it's wet and you're all on yellows, bar one, it's just not a gentleman's agreement, is it?
No, it's not at all. Not at all. No, definitely not. I cannot imagine the world's running on yellows whilst the rain's falling. It would make for some good viewing. It would make for some good viewing.
Yeah,
So-
half the grid will just spin round completely on their toe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
was there
it.
any feedback from IFMAR or anything regarding why that you can share with us, maybe between why they picked Reims? Is it just it's indoor dirt?
Well,
Everyone loves
if I
that.
don't pick it, again, the BRCA represented our club as all the other countries' clubs who applied their respective country's organisation
Okay.
applies. I think that makes sense.
Yeah,
And it's actually the EFRA committee members as a whole who make the
it was
decision.
Dallas. Oh no!
No, he's IFMAR. This
is
is
he? Okay, fine.
EFRA.
Okay, I get these
So
things.
yeah, they all met in Vienna. I think there were up to about 24 able to vote. I can't remember actually how many did vote. There were a good number. It was well in the teens, so it was a fair vote.
Yeah.
Paul Worsley put forward our application because we had 3 Brits there. There wasn't really much point me going. The other applicants, which were Huddy, they put a video application together.
Okay.
That was indoor dirt. Denmark applied indoors, but they actually withdrew their application on the day.
Right.
All right.
So that was one less. Valladolid in Spain, that was AstroTurf. I think they put an application in, as did Pinerolo, Italy. And then, of course, Reims, indoor dirt, and ourselves.
I think for me, it would be nice to see it vary. You know, if it was on, obviously the one that we've had this year was on dirt. It would have been nice to have seen the next one on Astro, and then reverse it again on dirt, and then Astro and dirt. I mean, Astro's becoming a lot more popular all around the world now. We're seeing reports from over in the States where there are Astro tracks popping up here, there, and everywhere really, and certainly in Europe, they're I don't know. Is it? Would you say it's sort of 50-50 in Europe now for dirt and Astro tracks?
Possibly, and it depends what you call AstroTurf, because the Utabi Worlds, the surface was AstroTurf, but I would really consider that more an indoor track.
Yeah.
But our outdoor AstroTurf tracks may be different to a lot of the American AstroTurf tracks. Again, they're more like indoors on AstroTurf.
Yeah, Joey Fisher keeps showing us pictures of Beachline, which just look like it is indoors, just perfectly flat.
But it's not though. It looks flat. It looks flat, but that Beachline is that's built on clay, so that is like ours, just indoors. It just looks a lot flatter than I think it runs.
Okay. Good.
But I mean, it's not. It's certainly not got the features of Robin Hood or the likes of Mendy. Maybe Southport style features.
Yeah, that's good. So, with a bit of feedback from the Worlds, would you apply again for the Euros?
Well, that's something else that happened in the meeting.
There's
no venue for the 2019 Euros.
Right.
And Paul actually brought up that a number of these clubs probably only applied for the Worlds and not the Euros as well, because obviously if you get the Worlds, you don't want to be having to host both.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they let the vote go through for the Worlds, and they will decide in 2018 where the 2019 Euros are.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So we could all apply again for that, and a whole load of other clubs if they're interested.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not decided yet, whereas it normally would be by now.
Right.
Got you. Well, I mean, do you think if you did get it, you'd run it on the clay again, or would you say, no, I wanted the Worlds on Astro, the Euros is on Astro as well?
Well, we've done the clay. I think we'd probably have a crack on the Astro if we decided to go for it.
Nice. You got to go for it, man. You got to go for it.
Just for me, really.
You're going to book a room again?
Yeah. Well, do you know what? How many people said, at least I booked a room? How useful was I? Yeah.
I'm not sure if I bought your room for Dave Church, actually. I can't remember now.
There we go. I would be... Yeah, I wouldn't race. I'd just come for the week.
I don't know. I think I'd like to give it a go. I'd like to have a race at Euros. I mean, bang about in the bottom end of the finals, but yeah, I'd
There's
love
a
to
lot
give it
going
a go.
to Reims
Yeah, I think that will be very popular.
for the Euros next year. Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think it's slightly more accessible than China.
A touch, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good fun. Euros are great fun.
Yeah, I mean,
Euros on Astro for us though would be a lot cheaper for us to run it. Not for you, for me or Gubs to run it, because you could throw a set of tyres on, and even if you only use them for one run, we'd then be taking them home to using them at Mendip or Southport or somewhere like that, rather than getting 28 pairs of clay compound tyres that I'm sure Martno and Crompton have just thrown in the bin.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's the thing is, because we've got that, there is the use of it. Of course, everybody else that went to the Worlds and bought 500 sets of tyre for however many wang or wong it was that they bought them for, that they are racing on clay. So for them, they're going to turn up to a Worlds, have a load of Astro tyres, and go, oh my God, right, I'm just going to throw them in the bin on the way home. But you could always give them to us, I suppose.
Yeah, well, if it's a common tyre, I don't think it's quite such a problem.
Yeah.
But the sweep isn't common as yet. In Europe, I don't think.
No.
I might be wrong there. But,
no, and to be fair, looking at the state of them when they were doing, a couple of runs on them, I don't think many of those used tyres were coming home and getting used again. They looked pretty savage by the end of it. But,
yeah, photographs I saw the same.
So what's the deal with Worksop then? That's been kicking off. Now we've hit the sort of winter season. That's been pretty popular.
Yeah, we've had 3 rounds. I think we've had 15 heats of 11 drivers, so pretty full.
Well, you can't moan at
busy
that.
It's a long day.
It's busy and long, but it's super competitive, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's very close.
The quality up for the top few heats.
The tracks have been pretty
tricky.
hard this year as well. We've had difficult jumps in the first round, or big jumps at least, the first round and the third round. We've got a bit of a gap until January. We don't race there in December.
Okay.
Right.
But yeah, it's been good. Been some good racing.
What kind of tyres are you on? It's that kind of rubbery cork floor, isn't it?
Well, yes, it is. I use mini pin 2s all round on the 4-wheel drive. Obviously, there isn't a 2-wheel drive mini pin 2 front, so just use the 1 and then 2s on the rear.
So mini pins all round on the 2-wheel drive as well.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm guessing the worn ones, if you're using that kind of rubbery floor, are going to be slightly better than new out the packet.
Yeah, new ones are terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, you either run them down or snip them.
Right.
Right.
Every year for the past 9 years, all I've done is just run them in at practice, ready for the next meeting, and have a bit of a cycle like that. But this year I've actually snipped them down.
Okay.
The trick with workshop tyres is to get a good balance front to rear.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, any time.
So you're like running on like you're saying you're running on like a slick?
No, it's not a slick. Leave a bit of pin showing.
Right.
Although there are, I mean, Richard Lowe used to completely cut everything off his tyres, and he always had plenty of traction.
Yeah.
Craig Collinson, he pretty much snips most of the tyre off.
And then how long does it? Is it then lasting a whole meeting, or you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's brilliant then.
Yeah.
And that's a controlled compound as well.
When the hall is warm and the dust's being rubbed off, the traction is huge. You get there's grip roll.
Right.
Okay. So you're all on yellows then. You're not finding anybody sticking a set of silvers on.
No, it's yellows.
Yeah. Okay. We were talking to I was talking to Damien Whittle, and he was saying about the Chaddock one where they do the U's, and he's discovered that silver darts seem to just work really, really well on the flooring that they use in there. Just because it's a bit slippery, so they just tend to give, rather than using a sort of worn set of yellows, because I think they were using worn yellow darts in there to start with, and someone stuck a set of silvers on and was just, miles ahead of everyone. So they've all kind of swapped over onto silvers for indoors now. But like you say, if you cleared the dust off and the grips there, then
I did used to race at Chadderton. I didn't do it last season, and I did try silver mini pins there, but the wear was pretty high.
Yeah, we tried a few.
I thought yellows felt nicer actually. Mini spikes in 4-wheel there and mini pins in 2.
Have you tried Cactus then with the new ones up at Worksop? How do they kind of compare to a mini pin?
They don't work.
Even if you cut that sort of feathered outside edge off of them?
They're better, but they're still not the right tyre.
Right. Okay. We just, down here when we did them, we ran a few different types at Torbay, and they just had a wear rate that nothing else kind of matched. We tried Pro Lines down there, we tried a few different sets of yellows down there, and you just couldn't compare the wear rates on them. And Torbay this year is all carpet because of it. You put them on a bit of slippery floor, and they're next to useless really on slippery floor. But on the carpet they were just phenomenal. They just all day, single set of tyres, practice all the way through the day, probably practice and maybe a heat or two of the next round on one set of rears for your 2-wheel drive, is compared to doing what we were doing last year, which was a minimum of sort of 2 sets of mini pins on the back of your 2-wheel drive. You've more than half the cost of your tyre bill for the season, and that makes such a big difference to people. Yeah.
Oh, they're a super tyre from a wear point of view. I did the meeting up at MB using Cactus, and you only need one set, probably for 2 meetings.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
If not more.
I'm just trying to think how I can phrase this. If Robin Hood was to get our BRCA National next year, because obviously we don't know any of the venues, they haven't been released, what would be your control tyre?
We decided last year that it was probably going to be the last year of mini spikes. Sorry.
Right. Okay.
So I think that probably answers your question.
Well, to be honest, I've asked that. I can't remember what we put on Southport's for.
Darts we've put on this year.
Well, okay.
Wow. Okay.
We obviously applied.
Okay.
Well,
I mean,
I'm sure we'll find out soon.
There was obviously a lot of kick-off this year. Well, I'd say kick-off. There was obviously a lot of discussion over the wear rate on darts. So that's, I am surprised they're coming through again for this season's Nationals, to be honest, because that was one thing I certainly heard a lot of, was that people were throwing on a set every run. I mean, for me, when I came up to Robin Hood, I mean, I was getting a couple of runs out of a set of darts, and then it was noticeable after that second run if you hadn't put another set on. I could feel the car changing, and
You think darts wear more than mini spikes at Robin Hood?
Again,
If I was running mini spikes, it'd be a setter run. And
Yeah,
darts, for instance, at the International, I didn't use any new tyres. Just used darts that had probably had one run to National.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think at Nationals, because we assume that the drivers will just put what a new set on and run whatever we tell them it is.
Well, not necessarily. You just judge it on as the circumstances dictate, really.
Well, I think I don't know because I don't do them. But when the drivers tell me, well, it doesn't matter. We'll just put a new set on anyway. And I think if I assume we've put darts on at Southport. To be honest, I can't remember what the form said.
Well, new tyres are good for continuity because you know how the car's going to react each time.
Yeah.
No one's had a cactus on Southport. We were all packed up before we even saw one. So we're not changing. No one's going to pick a tyre that they've not run.
Yeah.
I assume.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. So darts went on your form as well, did they?
I think so.
It wasn't you that filled the form out, was it? It was Evo that filled the form out.
No, to be honest, I filled the form completely myself.
Did you?
We put 2 tyres down, as I'm sure you did, but
yes,
the 2 best tyres are yellow darts and silver darts in the wet.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though we have got a different wet tyre nominated, the ballistic.
Yeah,
the silver is actually the better tyre at Blythe.
Yeah,
I think okay.
Evo says, I think there's still a question at Southport in the wet, whether it's silver darts or ballistic greens.
So is the reasoning behind ballistic, using rather than using silver darts as a wet tyre, is the reasoning kind of something to do with, if it's dry you want everybody on the same compound, if it's wet you want everybody on the same compound, rather than like we said earlier, if everybody else is on yellows and you've got silvers on, the difference is quite staggering. So is that something is it, have you chosen ballistics for a kind of visual, right, he's running wets, definitely running wets on that? Or is it...
Well, I mean, people are free to make their own choice, really. We're asked to recommend tyres for the National.
Yeah, I'd say what James says. It's the form. That's where the form's made. It says pick, and then in any compound, isn't it?
Yes.
So when we say darts,
it's
Matt,
just
we
the
don't
tread.
we don't say darts yellow. We just say darts. So pink darts are fine.
Okay.
So we have to choose 2.
Right. Okay. I've never filled out a national or seen a national application form. So. Okay.
Do you want to fill ours in next year?
If you want me to, mate, yeah, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, well done. I'm sure Paul Worsley accepts it in crayon.
CML will definitely be pleased at the amount of Proline tyres that are used at the Southport National next year.
Yes. So, well, one of the things I want to say is you've said, great results this year. We've all seen your name up above the results when we've looked at the Nationals. Are you looking to improve next year? Are we staying with X-Ray this year, or?
Yeah, I'm going to have another year with X-Ray.
Mm-hmm.
I think, 14th is, for me, I'm very happy with it. And when you start trying to break into, the top 10 is pretty much a lockout most years. It tends to be the same people. So realistically, if I can improve, it's only going to be a place or 2. I doubt I'd make top 10 unless you've got the win behind you and you hit the ground running every meeting.
Mm-hmm.
You never know.
Who's your?
I'm pretty sure I can improve.
Who's your kind of top? Other than you for getting into the top 10, who's your top pick for someone we wouldn't expect to get in the top 10 next year? Then
in the top 10, that's some consistent driving.
Who do you think's going to get better? Try and make it a slightly easier question.
It's such a tough question.
There's some good drivers out there. You've got to admit, the competition
we've been doing this
is
a long time, and you do tend to all just shuffle around a little bit each year.
Yeah.
To get someone who's going to leap up 10, 15, 20 places is quite unusual.
So,
Okay.
who are you just behind or just ahead of? Do you know that?
I tied with Richard Lowe in two-wheel drive. I know that.
Right.
Okay.
So
It's not
is that kind of a target for next year then?
I don't know if Richard's doing nationals next year.
Okay.
He's obviously a quality driver. He's got a lot of A finals under his belt.
Yes.
I'd say he was a top 10 driver, really.
Okay.
Four-wheel
We'd love to
drive.
have him on. We'd love to have him on, but it's not interesting.
Yeah, I think he's having a bit of time off racing at the moment.
Maybe we'll get him on when he comes back.
Four-wheel drive. It'd be nice to make 2 or 3 A's, wouldn't it? Knock on the door of the top 10. I don't know.
Yeah.
Realistically, I might just pull a place or two if I've had a very good year. But
Good year. Yes. So what we're saying is, what you think maybe you're saying is, you think you've had a really good year.
yeah, I'm
You know,
perfectly happy with it. Yeah.
You're really happy. Do you prefer 2 or 4-wheel drive more than the other, or don't you care?
I prefer four-wheel, actually.
Really? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
My first competitive car back in the day was a four-wheel drive, Yokomo.
Right.
And I always used to enjoy the Yokomo as everybody else had the RC10.
Mm.
I think I always preferred four-wheel.
Right. And we were getting on so well, James.
You've got a four-wheel drive now. Don't try and pull that one. We all know you're a secret lover of four-wheel drive.
I'm a secret lover of having flights arranged at the right time, so I'm not just... If I have that, I'll get a truck. And no one's doing that, are they? So, wait, sorry we've kept you on far too long. Is there anyone else?
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for asking me.
When are you next racing? Let's get some little quick ones. Is it workshop
probably
again?
January. I think Broxton are having a Christmas cracker.
Brilliant.
Between Christmas and New Year, so I'll do that. And
who are you looking forward to beat there? Eugene?
At the Christmas cracker,
Yeah.
I don't mind as long as I win a selection box.
Yeah, good. What I like to see.
Yeah, we were allowed to wear a Christmas jumper last year.
Right.
And I had a Rudolph on with a giant nose, and it was right where I hold my transmitter, so I had to hold it either under my chin or on my belly. It was a nightmare.
Okay, well, we'll find out what day that is and send you a message the day before and say, get yourself, make sure you've got a new Christmas jumper.
Yeah.
And, obviously we'll be supporting you over your X-Ray teammate, Eugene Galley.
He's not my teammate anymore.
No, isn't he? I didn't know that.
Schumacher.
No. Well, there we go. World exclusive. Or basically, Aiden's not heard. Well done. Oh, yeah. Oh, in fact, you did tell me, yeah. That's how bad my memory is. Well, I'm going to switch my allegiances to Eugene then. I hope he gets stuffed on Christmas. But no, wait, from everyone else, sorry I'm rambling a bit, Cliff. From everyone else, we love Robin Hood. We will be there if there's an Opel or an Inver. I suppose there'll definitely be an International, I'm sure. We'll be there for those things. We love your time. We love everything that you've done and all the people you've got. Hopefully, after we've become great friends over this for the 45 minutes, we're allowed to stay in the big caravan next time we go to Robin Hood,
Which does need to be painted
why
blue.
Not? Yeah, the VIP suite.
Yeah.
The not so VIP suite.
As long as it's dry, that'll be fine for us.
James,
No,
honestly,
you're very welcome.
it's been a absolute pleasure, and thanks, like Aidan said, thanks for all the efforts you put in for us out there, all the races and that. I'm sure everybody that listens and everybody out there is more than appreciative of all the efforts you put in. There's far too few people willing to do it, and like Aidan said, I can only echo his words. Robin Hood is one of the it's got to be world renowned for being the best track in the UK, I think.
Whoa! Second best track, best venue. I said.
You can say what you want with your flat touring car track, But yeah, I really do. Personally, I really appreciate it. But I know how much effort goes into that sort of thing, and it's a massive boost for all of us. And it's an inspiration a lot of the time. So thanks for everything. Honestly, thanks for coming on tonight. It's been our pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
And please contact James if you want to go down and practice at Robin Hood. Get those vouchers, get your practice done. We really enjoyed it. Get down to any of the events he's had. We'll definitely mention you when the Bradbury Cup's coming on.
Yeah, and we'll have another international next year, as we already mentioned.
Brilliant.
Yes,
hopefully a dirt race. Yeah,
is
you're
it?
welcome to come down again.
Oh man, yeah. I'm believe me, I am pre-booked in that with Damo already. I'm not missing an international again. That was awesome.
Okay, mate, you're a superstar. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thanks again. Okay. Cheers,
Take care, buddy.
James. Bye,
Thanks,
bye.
James. Bye, mate.
Bye.
There we go.
Oh, okay. He even looks after himself regarding hanging up. That's brilliant.
Yeah, what a star. What an absolute star. Thanks, James, for coming on. It was awesome having a chat with you and finding out what's going on at Robin Hood and what you've been up to and all the world stuff. And I mean, God, I'm sure a lot of effort was put into those world's applications, because that, national applications, just the thought of it is a headache for me. I don't want to do one. I'm not doing yours next year.
You sure?
So, and I saw
sure.
I saw the booklets and bits and bobs that you did to put the application in, and it's effort that someone's putting in for bugger all. That is free time that the guy's putting in to do that, and that's for all of us. That's not just for people coming to the Worlds. That is for the scene and the sport in the UK, and it's a great thing. And I just wish there were more James Helliwells out there with massive farms and a spare field that they would throw a toy car track in.
That's what we forgot. Hopefully he'll still be listening. He won't have turned off straight after he's been on. But one of the questions that someone else asked us to do was, is there any chance you could buy a farm in Merseyside?
No, you don't want a farm in Merseyside. It's too wet. You'd never grow crops there. Somerset is where you want to buy a farm, James.
Buy a farm and put a track there. Maybe we could sell
just a small farm.
Field of you.
Just a small farm. That's all we need. That's all I need, anyway.
That's it. We're very easily pleased. No, thanks very much. It's a great facility. Sometimes I meet people and the look of shock on my face when they say, I've never been to Robin Hood. And I go, wow.
Do you know what? What year was it that I went there first? It was, was it the 2014 Oupal season that we went up there? It was me, you, Bawley, Gaz, Tommy. I think that was it in the tent, wasn't it, that went up for that one?
Was that when we went up on the Saturday?
There is actually on my old Big Blue Tent YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. So sorry anybody that's subscribed to that one. It's not really active anymore. That's where that secondary video came from on the Mendip thing. So that is the old one. There are 70 odd subscribers on that. There are now more subscribers on the new channel. So if you have subscribed to that one, this one, stay subscribed to it. It's great. But just flick yourself onto the new one, because that's where all the videos are going to go. Now on the old one though, there is a video of me attempting to drive round Robin Hood the very first time I'd ever been there. So up until a few years ago, mate, I'd never been to Robin Hood, and it was one of those places that even back then, it's kind of almost that mecca, isn't it? Really, you want to, if you're into your racing, you want to. There's a few clubs you want to race at. You want to race at Robin Hood. End of story. Because it's just that track, isn't it? You want to race at Southport. You want to race at Bury. I'm saying on northern tracks here, but you want to race at Torch. There are those tracks that just have that kind of, I want to race there because that's where the big lads race, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
You don't, do you? You don't know what I mean at all. I've lost you now. You're either having a drink, you're making yourself a fag, you dirty smoker.
Terrible things. I know Davey Little spends a lot of his summer there. They just decamp for the summer and just go and live in Robin Hood and practice and take videos.
Who wouldn't want to do that?
I really enjoyed Davey put some, been a lot of 50-50 racing up in the northeast on carpet on slippy floors, but Davey stuck another video on. That was great. I enjoyed that this week.
I'd go mental if that was honestly. I don't know whether I could handle 50-50 slippery floor. I struggle when people put a corner of slippery floor in, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, well,
no. See, this track's great, apart from that corner.
Well, maybe if there's a lot more slippy before you get used to it. Maybe just the setup's right.
It's a bit like having a dry Astro track in the summer and going, do you know what we're going to do? We're just going to run a hose over this corner here and make it wet.
To do that.
And we're just going to do that a couple of times through the day. Just make this corner piss wet through.
Yeah, I think we should do that. I think Southport.
People would kick off. People would go home. They would.
One wet corner that just came on randomly throughout the day for a minute. Perfect.
No, don't do it. Don't get any ideas, people running clubs. It's not a favourable idea. Unless, when it's wet, you're going to dry up a corner.
Yeah, that'd be better, wouldn't it?
Yeah, let's push that idea.
So that's...
More of these magic sponge machines, that's what I say.
Yeah, try and get hold of one of them.
What are they?
You saw in a berry. It's like a roller. It's got 3 buckets behind.
Right, but what... Yeah.
All right.
Where'd you get them?
From the internet, we get everything.
Okay. So I search for magic roller on the internet.
You'd probably get it.
I probably would.
Birdie bought one. Message Birdie.
Yeah, everybody message Neil Burdess if you're running a club out there, and he will happily point you in the right direction for a magic track drying roller.
But if you run indoors at winter, you don't really need one.
No, but worth getting it. Preemptive strike for the summer.
Great plan, mate. Great plan.
There you go. So what's coming up for you next week then, bud?
I'm not racing next week, mate. It's a gap.
Jeez, what's going on?
And the next time I'm racing, I'll be in Newcastle or Sunderland because we'll be in Nissan the weekend after.
Okay.
And then nothing then after Christmas.
Well, do you know what, mate? We better get some pretty good guests on, or maybe 2 guests next week. Maybe a double guest the next week, because I don't think, for me, considering what I've got coming up the weekend after, I don't...
Oh, actually, do you know what, mate? That could work next week.
Okay.
Because I think I know somebody who's got a bit of an announcement and maybe keeping it for us.
Oh, I love an announcement, especially when it's kept just for us.
I think we might be... I might have nearly scuppered the entire thing a day or 2 ago on the internet, but no, I think I've saved myself, and so I think we've got. Well, I don't like to name people, you know that maybe before, because life gets in the way. But I think we could be going back over the Atlantic next week, mate. Back over the Atlantic with a guest, somebody who's saving a bit of news for us. We could get them on because that sounds okay.
That sounds like a great idea. So yeah, let's go for that because, like I say, for me, I've got a heavy weekend of racing the weekend after.
Yeah.
With a day of racing on the Saturday, which will be pre-booked with a few people going for that one, and then of course round 3 of Carpet Kings.
Oh yeah, Torbay for you.
Torbay, so that'll be awesome. Obviously, entries for that are open already. Get them in now, lads. If you're planning on getting down there and you haven't already booked in, you're gonna need to get yourself booked in now because that is gonna fill up like it did last time, and it's not like it was in previous years. They are limiting numbers now, and the last meeting was full, as far as I know, with possibly reserves on it. So get your name down now if you're going. Obviously, this weekend we've got round 3 of the Caldecott Cows series. Heavily contested series, that one. So if you are planning on going there, get your entries in. I think Pete Belston is the guy to get hold of there, or just get hold of them on the Caldecott page, and they will be taking entries all week.
Yeah, mate. I think this week we've got Southport's not on. That means Oupel at Chatterton are on. So if you want some racing this Sunday up in the northwest, book yourself in. Speak to Birdie, speak to Damo, get yourself booked in for there. You know, I always love seeing pictures of Lee Romag's Junction 16. Did I get the number right this time?
You did, yes, and that is one that we need to go to before the winter season is out. I don't know what those guys, whether they're going to... I'm sure we covered this before, but I can't remember.
No, I can't remember anything we say.
No, I generally can't. I can't remember what you say after I've put the phone down to you in the evening. But, yeah, so that's one that we need to go down to, because there's some good racing that goes down there, and I want to go down when they do the bigger track. I'm never going to make it on a Friday, but when they do the sort of bigger tracks down there, I will definitely be up for that soon. So
we go down and whoop some PR butt.
Yeah, easy.
A lot of PR stuff there.
Yeah, well, you've seen what happens with the new PR; they just fall apart.
Clearly, you do.
Sorry, Kev. You know I'm joking, Kev.
Yes, we
Even
love
though
you.
yours did fall apart. That's what happens when you steal Honda's name, though, isn't it? See?
Yeah, good thing. So we've had. I tell you what else is coming out now.
Aiden,
the
quickly
Wednesday,
trying to change the subject.
Yeah. Well, before we dig any deeper holes, the new yoke 4-wheel drives are appearing.
Yeah.
Neil Lewis has just opened his box live on Facebook.
I hear. Talking about 4-wheel drives, I hear you've blagged Borley into the Hoodie Arena.
Yeah. Borley's coming to the Hoodie Arena.
Yeah, he's searching for a 4-wheel drive. Asked if he could borrow mine, and Borley, if I'm not at a race meeting when that race meeting's on, yes, of course, you can borrow my B64. There isn't a better 4-wheel drive out there, and I'm sure you'll do very well with it. However, I think my racing as of the new year is going to be very similar to how it was this year, and I just don't think it's going to stop. I think it is literally going to be every weekend.
Well, check your diary for whatever is on the weekend of the February the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, somewhere around then. I think that's when we go on the Hoodie Arena.
Okay, I've written that down. I will check.
But also, let's just say, because posting could be an issue, if there's anyone northwest based who would and who has got a 4-wheel drive that they'd lend Borley for a day and a half,
unassociated, yeah.
As long as it's an associated one to keep Matt happy. If anyone's got a B64 whatever, and they'd happily lend it to Borley, and it'd only be for a day and a half, that'd be great, because we all have to do 4-wheel drive because our flights don't come back till Friday night.
Well, you know what happened. You know what will happen to Borley if he drives anything else.
He'll just appear at the Hoodie Arena.
His name will change in my phone.
His name will change in my... The problem is, if someone who I've changed to dead to me phones me, it could be one of 9 people.
Yeah, it could be one of those people you could still be pissed off with.
Yeah, you just don't really know. Again, I think it's been a great week in the group and on the page. We've had some good information.
Oh, mate, there's been some awesome posts go up. So thank you guys for all of that, and keep them coming. We love seeing it. We love seeing it.
If we don't get involved because I don't really know anything about it, that's kind of thing. Even from people asking today about gas soldering irons, and some guy, Mark Christopher, coming over and sorting that out.
Yeah.
To just sharing the odd picture, that one you've done of.
Yeah, because Dremel have got their gas soldering iron out, haven't they?
Yeah, so those kind of things. I'd like to. Tell you what, I'd like to say get well soon to Dave Scouse. He's had an operation on his shoulder.
DC's mate.
DC's mate.
Yeah.
Yes, DC's mate. What I was going to say was he's injured himself, putting all the turbo and the boost on the speedos.
He was just trying to wind his motor too far, wasn't he? And he's thrown his shoulder out. That's what it is.
His shoulder out. So there's Dave Scouse. So, or Dave Mostowski. He's on the group. You'll clearly know him. He's a lovely, lovely person.
You'll be all right, Dave. You'll be all right. Just man up. Get over it, innit?
Yeah. Come and help pick up some heavy rolls of Astro and hope your shoulder doesn't fall out. So if you see a picture of a fella with a arm on his shoulder in the Facebook groups, give it a like, give it to Dave Scouse. He cheats at 10.5. Say hello. Andy Wood seems to be getting better. Mike Waugh gets his cast off.
Man, and Andy Wood's scar on his car. Jesus Christ. Yeah, get well soon, Andy. I hope that's fixing itself, mate.
Yeah. Well, now you said that, I was going to say, bloody hell, he's milking that a bit, isn't he? I'll just come off like a bad man saying that now. Martin Owen's mum, all those people, thanks very much. Hope you get better.
Yeah, and people stop getting ill and stuff, man. Stop hurting yourselves out there.
Yeah, bang
Jesus.
Cars. Mark Gudgeon's bought himself some new X-rays.
It's meant to be a safe hobby.
Yeah, yes,
What's going on?
I'm sure we'll see loads of pictures of yoke builds over the next few days. Thanks very much I'll start saying it now. Don't forget to like and share the podcast. It really does help us. Thanks for all the messages to say, do this, do that, or that's ace, or that's rubbish, or stop Gups doing that, or make Gups do more of this.
What are people telling you to make me do more of? What's that about? Christ. You lot need to back off.
Really, I don't tell you those ones. Gups should never do more of anything. But no, thanks very much, Rich. It's really good. Thanks for listening. I think I've got Christmas near enough sorted for guests.
Oh, mate, just to let everybody know, as far as the Christmas show, or after Christmas show now, Aidan's decided. See, I wanted to do it before Christmas, so you all got Christmas presents after Christmas.
But they never get them anyway.
Yeah, that's why I added that after Christmas bit. Yeah. Aidan now wants to do it after Christmas show, which we're clearly going to do, because otherwise he'll throw another tantrum. And you'll all get Christmas presents in the new year. So, we've had a message from our guest tonight, since he's been on, just to say that he's donating some goodies for the giveaway as well, so you'll have to tune into that one to find out what they are.
Yeah,
but obviously Robin Hood based.
Yeah, so Robin Hood had done that. Simon Rice, so I shared one of those shells he painted. Yeah. He's going to put a paint job on for somebody.
So we've got the Christmas 2 things. Pro-painted shells.
So yeah,
some secret stuff from Robin Hood. A
Dremel. I was speaing to Brendan from New Concept. He's got a load of bits for us to for as well. If you do anything from RC, RC option. If you make print stickers and you fancy your name getting mentioned and sharing on things, then we're just looking for stuff for our Christmas show now or in the future. Just let us know. Give us
well, now would be better because it's bloody Christmas.
It's Christmas.
We are literally three and a bit weeks away from that Christmas show. So
yeah, but clearly, I'm having a domestic on the air. I'm sitting there going, we're just going to give a load of stuff away in one show. We could give that away for months.
No, give it all away one show. We give it all away, and then we do it once a year, and then we haven't got to worry about loads of competitions and posting every week. We just do it all in one hit. Done. Boom.
Oh, you never said that. Oh,
and then, we can run other bits and bobs when other people want to give stuff away and come on, and then they can post them out through the year, can't they?
Yeah.
Come on, let's think about this.
I don't. So thanks very much. Thanks for James. I'm gonna have to end it anyway because my phone's gonna run out of battery. Thanks for James for coming on. Really enjoyed it. We will catch up with everyone next week. Don't forget to like and share the podcast. Thanks for your time, Matt.
Thank you, mate. Thank you very much. You've been great tonight. And I'll echo what Aidan said there. Thanks very much, James, for coming on. And I guess thank you all for listening, and we will catch you all next week.